Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Scott Reisch of Crime Talk, and we have several matters on the docket today. First, El Chapo would like to go back to where he was from. Next on the docket, a dirty Florida cop is in big trouble, and he deserves it. Next on the docket, just when you thought severing genitals was for women only, this came along. Quit flushing your illegal drugs down the toilet. It's for the animals. And something we haven't done in a little while, the dumb criminal of the week. Let's talk about it. Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Scott Reisch of Crime Talk. Thank you for tuning in. If you like the video, please hit that like button. If you have not subscribed to Crime Talk, please hit the subscribe button. And if you would like to be notified of new content or when we go live, hit that little bell so you receive notifications. First on the docket today is El Chapo. El Chapo would like to go back to where he is from. He doesn't like it in the United States. In fact, he had his sentencing today. He received a life sentence plus 30 years. And for those of you who do not know, El Chapo, or Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, is reported to be one of the most notorious drug lords, drug runners in the world. The cocaine that was brought into the United States for the last 25 years, 30 years, probably came from El Chapo. He's escaped several times from authorities in Mexico. He was ultimately caught, and the Mexican government said, we'll let you deal with him so we don't have to keep worrying about him escaping. At his sentencing, El Chapo complained for some 15 minutes about how corrupt the United States government was, how terrible the court systems were, and also that he did not receive a fair trial. Further, he complained that he was the victim of his own fame. On top of that life sentence, El Chapo also has to forfeit $12.6 billion. What's interesting about the forfeiture allegation in any kind of complaint like this is the government usually has that money seized, and they're asking for the court to order it to be paid to the United States government. So when they say they have $12.6 billion, wow, a lot of money. And he'll probably never get it back. Now, El Chapo has said that there were many issues on appeal that he will seek to receive a new trial, primarily that the jury was corrupt and or tainted. Don't see a whole lot of merit to that when you have the world's biggest drug dealer on trial. I see what the courts will refer to in appellate cases as the son of a bitch rule. Although there was error, he's a son of a bitch, and we're not going to give him any relief. So, El Chapo, I think you're here to stay. So, before we hit the second matter on the docket today, we would draw your attention to the Crime Talk mug. You can get one of those Crime Talk mugs if you would like to at the link that we will put up. And what you will also see is when you go to the store, there's some new merchandise you may want to take a look at. No one's begging you to buy it, but if you like it, it's worth it. The next thing on the docket is a dirty cop in Florida. I've represented police officers who have gotten in trouble over the years. I can think of one particular case where it was a deputy sheriff, and his job was to make sure contraband didn't come in. He was the one bringing contraband into the jail, and when we ultimately went to sentencing, we were hoping for some leniency because he was a police officer and he should get a little bit of respect. The judge hammered him, gave him the maximum sentence because the judge said, in his own words, you had a badge and you spit on it, and you deserve no leniency whatsoever. I anticipate that is what's going to happen to former Deputy Zachary Webster. Deputy Webster had the knack for planting drugs on drivers during traffic stops. And what was really unusual is that there's no rhyme or reason that he picked out, a particular race or ethnicity or gender. It was very random. Some people would have literally children in the car, and he would plant them. In fact, there was a case where a child was taken from his parents because of the drugs planted by now former Deputy Webster, and it was all bogus. There's been a review of the cases. 8 people have been released from incarceration. There's 263 cases that were that had Zachary Webster's involvement in it, and they're reviewing those to see if charges should be dismissed. This all came about because a prosecutor actually noticed that the reports that the deputy was writing varied from what was actually on the body cam. They looked into it and started to see that the drugs were in the hand, and you could see in the body cam that Deputy Webster, almost like a magician, made the stuff appear and disappear with a little sleight of hand. Deputy should get every day in prison that he can get. Okay? He was not acting as a law enforcement officer. He was acting as a criminal framing people, and that's why he's been charged with racketeering down in Florida. I hope the prosecutor makes no offer, as he's represented he would not, and the only thing that this man receives is a fair trial. That's it. Convict him, send him away. And that's my opinion. Now, for those of you that are old enough, you may remember the name of Lorena Bobbitt. Lorena Bobbitt was a woman who severed her then husband's genitals because he was being less than a gentleman. I think he may have been having an affair. I don't remember the exact specific circumstances, but it was kind of a big deal at the time because I don't think anyone had really heard of it. Well, hold on. Now that's not just for females anymore. Males do it too. There's a gentleman down in Florida by the name of Alex Bonilla. Alex Bonilla discovered that his neighbor across the street was having an affair with his wife. So, what's the logical thing to do? Perhaps divorce your wife, maybe seek marriage counseling, maybe put the house up for sale. No, Alex Bonilla would have none of that. Alex Bonilla went across the street, went into the home, tied up and made the neighbor lay down, and ultimately, with some kitchen scissors, removed the neighbor's genitalia, walked back across the street. Now, Mr. Bonilla was identified by his neighbor, whose name has not been released, and he's ultimately been arrested for burglary, aggravated assault. He will also have some menacing charges because he held a gun to his neighbor's head if he thought he was going to resist. Mr. Bonilla is still in custody on a $1.2 million bond. This is a public service announcement from the Loretto Police Department in Tennessee. Police state that there's a problem where too many people are flushing narcotics, particularly methamphetamines, when apparently their homes are being raided, down into the sewer system. Well, don't do it just so you avoid prosecution. Do it for the animals. You've heard, do it for the children? Well, this is the same type of thing. Apparently, when you flush your illegal narcotics down the toilet, it gets into the rivers ultimately, and we are starting to create meth gators. It also affects other birds, small animals, fish, any type of wildlife. So we can't do that. It's affecting them. It's for the animal. It's for the animals. Stop flushing your drugs down the toilet. Everybody always jokes about meth gators, but it's real funny until you run into a meth gator. And now something we haven't done for a while, Dumb Criminal of the Week. And we're just going to jump straight to the chase. There was a gentleman flying from Colombia to Spain, and he thought that it would be wise to smuggle drugs into Spain because nobody would have any questions about anyone arriving from Bogota, particularly on what is referred to as a hot flight. Well, this gentleman, he didn't put it in his luggage. He did not put it in his clothing. He did not put it on the inner linings of his jackets. He did not put it in any orifices of his body. No, he tried to hide it in his toupee. Now, we have a picture. We can show you this. Can you even imagine the search issues that we're going to have here? Because what's wrong with this toupee? What's wrong with this haircut? Can you see that there's 500 grams of cocaine taped to his head? I think that's a fine looking haircut. He gets the award. His name hasn't been released, but if he contacts us here at Crime Talk, he will get a Crime Talk mug. Hey, you do not need to wait to be on the Dumb Criminal of the Week to get a Crime Talk mug. You can go to the link below. We continue to be the most fact-driven, unbiased, true crime genre YouTube channel out there on the web. We appreciate you watching. Have a great day.